A great way to get some strength and endurance out of the back side of the body is actually to do a modified version of the hip bridge. Typically when you do the hip bridge, you really emphasize using the glutes, bringing your hips up really high. In this modified version, we're going to be emphasizing using the hamstrings, working on the core and setting the pelvis in a particular position. So if you're having stability issues, either in your knees or in your hips, this is a great modified version you can try to see if it helps you. Again, it's going to take some time, but give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. The way we're going to start out is laying flat on your back. Your feet are going to be about 6 inches apart. The toes are going to be touching and the knees are going to be squeezed together. And you're going to notice that your knees are going to be bent. From here, palms are flat, and first thing we want to do is pull the toes up towards the knees, tuck the low back so it's flat to the ground. All you're going to do from here is pull the heels up towards the butt to activate the hamstrings, and then start to slowly raise your butt off the ground. An inch, half an inch, maybe even 2 inches off the ground is all you need. If you're doing this correctly, you're squeezing the knees together, pulling the toes up, and keeping the pelvis tucked, you'll feel this intense contraction of the hamstrings. And what you want to do is make sure that you can breathe in this position. You want to get comfortable here. This is not for repetitions. This is just for duration. If you want to add a little bit of a challenge, you can raise the hands up perpendicular to the body, and then every single breath you take in, you can raise them up a little bit higher overhead. Raise them up a little bit higher overhead. Every single time you take a breath in, this puts a little bit more of a challenge on the core as a whole as you're going through it. Now, the things to pay attention to are if your toes are separating or you're letting your knees come apart, if your toes are pointing, and then also if you're starting to arch your low back and sacrifice keeping the pelvis tucked in order to get up higher. Remember, the goal of this is not really to go for height. The goal of this is to go for duration of the hold, because we want to work on getting some sensation and some awareness out of the hamstring muscles, because they do control your knees and they do control the hip position. So like I said, if you have some stability issues there, this can be a great add-on to your program. You can either do a set or two before you do your training, and or you can also do it at the end just to re-emphasize setting the pelvis in that position. There's some great breathing drills you can do along with this. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and send me a message. I'm always here to help.